Hi everyone. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to do my makeup video for you. So this is just going to be an everyday makeup look and using mostly the Avon products that I sell. There's only 2 items in everything that I use that is not from Avon. Without further ado, let's start. So first, obviously, I've just washed my face. So in the mornings, I obviously don't have such a huge skin routine like what I use in the evenings. The only thing that I do is, the first thing that I put on my skin is the Avon Skin So Soft Silky Moisture with Argan Oil Tissue Oil. And because my skin is so dry, I like to use this, but I only use really just a drop of this underneath my moisturizer. And then I just put it on my skin like this. I've actually already used too much, but I will blot that out just now. I use my Anew Platinum Day Lifting Cream with SPF 25. Guys, it's very important to always use a moisturizer that already has a built-in SPF in to protect your skin from the sun. And this also has the protinol in, so it still has that collagen boosting effect. Okay, so I just pat it on. Remember to always put your moisturizer down your neck and into your area there, because that also becomes very dry and it's part of what shows to the people. Okay, so I'm just taking a blotter like this and I'm just blotting my skin just to get rid of some of the excess oil. Now, obviously, before you start doing your makeup, you need to use a primer, and it's important to use a correct primer for your skin. You obviously get a mattifying primer, so if you have a very oily skin, you will use a mattifying primer. I'm using a hydrating primer because of the fact that I have a dry skin, so I'm using the Avon Magix hydrating primer. And what a primer does, it really helps to fill in the pores, to even out your skin tone, so that when you put on your makeup, it's all even and your makeup lasts longer. So I just put it on around my eye area like this, obviously on the nose area because that's where the dryness sometimes appear. Now, as you can see, when you look at my skin, you will see that I have quite a lot of redness on certain areas of my skin. So I want to first eliminate the redness and the dark circles around my eyes before I actually put on my foundation. So I like to use this palette from Catrice. So this is the one product that you can't buy from me, but you can get it from Discount. So it's the Catrice Corrector palette. And obviously, when you want to eliminate red, you will use green. And I'm just going to use my finger on the red areas to eliminate the redness. Like that. And then the orange I'm going to use here around my eyes for those dark circles. Alright, and then you can also use the other colors in the palette, which is more foundation colors, for areas like where you might have some dark spots, just to neutralize them. So now I have done all the corrections on my skin and I want to go into foundation. So I use the Avon True Power Stay 24-hour foundation. And what I love about this foundation is it's a liquid foundation and I don't use a lot. I really use 2 pea size on my hand like that, if you can see it. That's all I use. And I use a foundation brush, and this is an Avon foundation brush that I use. I love this brush. This is one of the older foundation brushes that they used to sell. They've changed it a bit. and then I just apply my foundation. Remember, it's important that you take your foundation into the neck area to eliminate any. I'm going to look it away from the camera for a sec just to make sure that it's all blended in. All right. One is neutral fair and the other one is medium deep. So the neutral fair I use first on my skin. Now, if you look at a lot of tutorial videos, you will see that they make a little triangle underneath their eyes. But because I'm older, I don't do that because that could make your the lines around your eyes stand out. So I basically just go into the eye area like this, right underneath the eye, and I take it up like that. All right, same with this side, right under the eye, and I take it up. So it's pulling my eyes up. And then I only put it on the side of my nose like this. Okay, then I obviously put on some concealer in the middle of my nose like this, and some here, a bit there, and obviously here on my chin. Now what I also like to do, and because this has got a tip like this, it's very easy to use, I like to take it around my brow like this. Okay, and around my brow that side, and then I'm going to blend this in just now, a bit on your eyes, because this will help your eyeshadow set. Then I'm going to go in with the darker shade for contouring. So what I do, it's the same, it's got a nice tip. So obviously you want to contour the cheek area like that, and then the nose area, and I like to put a bit here just to sort of, and then obviously here on your forehead. Is I take my little sponge and I use my Magix Mark Fix and Set spray, and then I just dampen my sponge like this, and I just press underneath my eye the concealer that's under my eye. I just press it into my skin, and I'll do this area here as well. And for the rest, I'm going to use brushes. So I'm going to use a different brush, not the foundation brush that I used before, and I'm just going to, in circle motions, I am blending in these dark colors that I've applied, and you obviously want to take it around. I will use a smaller foundation brush. This is not an Avon brush, this is actually a matte brush which I bought a long time ago, and I'm going to just do the areas that is a bit smaller, so the nose area, and here around the eye area. So you want to keep your eye area light because it opens up the eye area, and make sure that you blend in nicely. Blend. Alright, so now on the eye area where I've put that concealer, I'm just going to blend that in on over the whole of my eye. I'm not using an eye primer, this is eye primer. So the first thing that I like to do is my brows. So I have had some threading done yesterday, so my brows is nice and shaped, and then I use two brushes that is also Avon brushes. The first one is a angle brush like this. It's a smaller angle brush, and what's nice about this brow palette from Avon is this is the medium dark. All right, and if I open it up, you will see it's got 3 colors. So you use the darker color there on the ends of your brow, use the lighter color brown on the start of your brow, and obviously you use the highlighter underneath your eye. So I'm using this angle brush for the ends of my eye. And then I'm going to use a different angled brush, which is also an Avon brush like this, but it's got a spoolie on the bottom for this area. You use just to make sure that your brows are even. Avon Playbook Nudes palette, and it's a new palette from Avon. And what's very nice about this is that it actually gives you different techniques onto how to use the colors. So it's almost like a tutorial in its own. So today I am going to use the colors that they have as the shadow wings. And got my blending brush from Avon, and the first color they say that you need to use is the number one, which is raw. So that's that brown in the top. So what I like to do is, remember that you have your crease there, and you really don't want to put a lot of foundation on the bottom of your crease. So you want to start inside of the crease. So just using the foundation brush, I'm going into the crease of my eye and blending it out. Alright, so that is the raw. Then it tells me that I need to use the number 7 in the corners of my eye. So you're obviously going to go in with a darker color. Normal foundation brush, and I'm going to take the number 7, which is the feline, and I'm going to pick up the color, and I'm just going to pat it in the corners of my eye like this. I'm not blending it yet. I just want to put it on. And once you have patted on the eyeshadow, then you take your blending brush and you start blending it. And I'm blending it towards the outer corners of my eyes, keeping this open. Alright, so that is then the darker color. Then it tells me that I need to use a number 17 in the inner corners of my eyes. The 17 is a Utopia. So it's that color down there. And that you will be using in the inner corners of your eye. And then the last one that they say is number 2, and this is the base color, which is the corners of your eyes. And this is a very white, and I'm just going to use my finger when I do this. So I'm just putting that in the corners of my eye like that. Okay, now we want to obviously the same dark color, the feline that I used in the corners of my eye, underneath my eye. Had in the brow palette, and I'm just going to use my finger, and I'm really just going to put that highlighter right underneath my brow like that. Avon Glimmerstick Cosmic Brown, and I will be going right on the waterline of my eye. I'm not doing a wing today. Like that. And I'm also going to go on my bottom lid. I'm not going in my eye. I'm actually doing the lid itself. This palette from Sorbet, and it's called Good to Glow, and I want to use that Diva color on the apples of my cheek, but I'm also going to use bronzed just in the contouring section. So I'm first going to a contour brush like this, and I'm just taking the bronze and I'm just darkening the areas that I've already contoured. I'm going to take the Diva, and I'm really just picking up very little of this because it's quite an intense color, and I'm doing that on the apples of my cheek. I don't know what I missed here. Just on the apples of my cheek. The same palette, and it's got a Goddess color in there, which is a shimmering highlight, and I'm just going to do here on my cheeks a bit of a shimmer, and then on the nose section and above my cupid's bow, like that. Supershock Max Volume Waterproof Mascara. I use waterproof mascara because I cry for everything, so I need to make sure that if I do cry, then it doesn't cry off. And I start at the bottom of my lashes and I pull it up. So that your mascara is nice and like that. And then obviously I want to use the bottom as well. I want to do the lip area, and I'm also using a nude, and this is a vintage smoke, and it's from Avon, the Mark range, and it's got a little brush like this, which is very nice. So I'm just going to place it on my lips. Okay, so this is the final look, and this isn't just an everyday look. It's very neutral, it's very basic, and you can wear this every day. And obviously if you go into the evening, you can just darken your eyes and maybe wear a red lipstick. But this is the look, and all the products that I've used from Avon, except for the two palettes that I didn't use from Avon, which was the Catrice Color Corrector palette, which you can get from Discam, as well as the Sorbet Good to Glow palettes, which you can get directly from Sorbet and Clicks. All the other products you can buy from me, and it will be in my bio underneath this video. Thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll talk soon.